Now, into the ticket office of Disneyland.
Oh boy, let's do this.
Don't think the CIA is going to be trying to hack your second-gen iPod.
I didn't think so. There might have been a lot of illegal music on there. I would doubt it. But, I mean,
Because that would be stupid.
iTunes is a constant source of embarrassment.
I approve this message.
I really don't see Apple ever doing that.
I am Noah. I can't do it anymore without laughing. I was going to do the whole thing. Welcome, everyone, to the Calling All Platforms podcast. I'm going to be your host today, and I'm here with Landon.
Hello.
And Caleb is fired.
Ha ha ha.
Just in time for this Apple event.
Yes.
Actually, no, Caleb is gone on vacation. So we're going to do
Jerk.
things just a little different today.
Yes.
We're just not going to talk about Apple. No.
Well, nobody really cares about that Apple event. I mean, really?
You know,
We all watched it.
We did. We all did watch it. I watched it and realized how much I don't know about Apple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to admit that. I don't know. But it seems exciting. The crowd was very excited during the keynote.
The crowd was quite excited about everything, which was very odd. Some things I was like, "You're excited about that? Really?
Yeah.
Really?"
I was a little excited. I'm like, why are we clapping? But no, it was definitely eye-opening. And I'm like, man, I feel like I need to pay more attention, at least so that if someone asked me about it, I could at least give them a decent, I'm not just trying to be like, oh, just get a Surface or something. But if it's actually a need that they need that this would work out, then I'd be like for that. But yeah, I was just like, dang, that really kind of throws... I don't know. I just, like I said, it was something that really eye-opening for me. And I'm like, because we'll get into it more as we get in there. But yeah, I was just like, geez. But I'm glad I wasn't the only one that
Yeah, it was
that way.
It was interesting.
But
I mean, it did make it more exciting to watch.
Yes.
It was just kind of odd. Some of the things they were cheering very as loudly as they were for.
Yeah.
But
Well, my thing is they announced this new hardware, which everyone loves new hardware.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting, period.
Yes.
But they were just like, oh, this is a certain percentage more than the last one. And I'm like, I don't even know where the last one started. This sounds like an earnings call for any company. Like, I don't know where it started, but we're doing good.
Yes.
So, but I will definitely comment on what I feel, what I know about it, but we'll get there. So today we're going to do something a little different. So Caleb went ahead and watched the event, and he put together a recording for us. And so we're going to go ahead and put that forward or have that play for everybody. We'll listen, and then Lan and I are going to put our 2 cents in and comment on that, and then continue on some news after. So
Yes, so we will go to Caleb.
here we go.
October 30th bore witness to what I have absolutely no qualms about calling the best Apple event in a good long while. And while I may, in point of fact, be out of the country trying to experience new cultures and whatnot, this particular event was just massive enough to drag a bit of analysis out of me despite my vacationing. So, here you go. The high points of Apple's New York hardware event. First up, I want to observe that this was obviously the most excited Tim Cook has ever been about presenting an event ever. The crowd was incredibly enthusiastic, and he ate that up like sweet cakes. Some of you may not consider this to be a big deal, but seeing as I'm the guy that has to watch the full hour-and-a-half event in order to bring you all the news, I appreciated it. It was much more entertaining to watch than Apple's usual affair since Steve Jobs stopped hosting the keynotes. The first big news is that there is a brand new MacBook Air. And yes, in point of fact, it is still called the MacBook Air. It features a 13.3-inch Retina display, but a thinner and less bezel-y design than its predecessor. The new third generation of Apple's butterfly mechanism keyboard is paired with a Touch ID sensor, but no touch bar. That also means that Apple's T2 Silicon is along for the ride, bringing with it all of the memory and storage management, secure boot, and on-the-fly encoding that the latest MacBook Pros enjoy. This new Air features not 2, but 3 whole ports, with one 3.5mm headphone jack and 2, count 'em, 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. Yes, you heard that right. Thunderbolt 3, not just USB-C. Processors start with a dual-core 8th Gen i5, none of that M-series crap, and can be configured up to an i7. You can have it with up to 16 gigs of RAM and 1.5 terabytes of SSD goodness if you just happen to be hemorrhaging money. And despite its remarkably diminutive size, this lovely machine is good for up to 12 hours of battery-powered internet browsing. It can be had in silver, space gray, or rose gold, and will be available for purchase starting at an uncomfortable $1,200 by the time you're hearing this. And as a fun little bonus, evidently all the aluminum that goes into the chassis for these things is recycled.
And that was Caleb.
Covering the MacBook Air portion of the event.
Yes. So, I guess I'll start.
Okay.
Looks really cool. See, so something that was interesting with the event, I was under the impression that the MacBook Air was the lighter / not as big of specs.
Right.
Of the MacBook series or whatever you want to call it. Family, better.
Yeah.
But this definitely increased it to where it was better than a MacBook.
Yeah.
On there.
And starting at a cheaper price.
Yeah. Which, crazy.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that he did mention that he was talking about was on the keyboard they put the finger sensor.
Yeah, Touch ID is on there.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes. And like you said, with that comes the T2 security chip, which is nice because that does a lot more stuff on device.
Right.
Makes it more secure, makes it so you can do some more secure passwords, use Apple Pay with the Touch ID and stuff like that.
Is that 1Password?
Yeah, you can use 1Password, LastPass, all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
And use Touch ID to authenticate.
Yeah, which is really cool. So I'm on Android, and first time I got the fingerprint sensor was on this Pixel, and I probably will never go back because that's amazing. So having that, being someone that's recently had that and seeing that on something like that, I'm like, oh, that's a need, definitely a must. So that was really cool. Let's see, how light was it again? Did he say?
I don't remember. I looked it up. I thought it was actually it's like right around a pound or two or something. Really, it's really light.
It's really light, and see that to me. So I'm kind of a bigger guy with monkey hands. I mean, I'm the missing link or whatever they want to call it. But I feel like I would break that. That's like $1,200 out the window.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was asking like, who would this appeal to? And I think we nailed it earlier in a previous conversation was probably journalists, people that write a lot, possibly school people, but
potentially. I mean. But at the same time, on like the MacBook Pro with the Core M processor, I mean, like we discussed before, I really don't know because, like for me, I haven't really paid attention to anything less than a MacBook Pro for a lot of years because that's what I'm interested in. If I buy a MacBook, it's going to be the Pro, not the Air or the regular MacBook. So, and I've always been in the same thought as you with MacBook Air is, oh, that's the lighter, thinner, cheaper version.
Yes.
When in reality, that hasn't really been the case. I just didn't really pay that much attention to it. And I did know that the newer MacBooks were lighter and thinner, which is still weird to me. It's just naming that. It's just tech companies are bad at naming products.
Yes. Yeah.
The only thing that makes this an Air is it's got that same wedge shape that the MacBook Air originally had.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. It's so weird to me because, like spec-wise, you can get a better MacBook Air than you can a MacBook. Yeah,
you can. And cheaper?
Close? I'm not sure how about like high-end spec-wise, but like on the low end, the MacBook starts at $1,300 and the MacBook Air starts at $12.
Yeah.
And the MacBook is the base model is a Core M3 and the MacBook Air is a Core was it a 5 or an i3? It was either way it's an i-series processor.
Yeah. So that was anyway, it looked good. I really liked the presentation. It was kind of cool for them to on the screen behind them as they were talking, it would actually show, it would take certain edges off or borders and show you, in their own Apple slick way, which was very presentable. I really enjoyed that, knowing what they talked about. So, the ports, talk about that. That's huge.
That's exciting. Having 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports is always going to be beneficial.
Yes.
It's better than, well, actually the MacBook, the regular MacBook, I think only has 2 USB. I don't know if they're Thunderbolt 3 ports or not.
I don't think
I know
so.
they're USB-C, and that's also how you charge. So you use one for charging and you use the other one for whatever. So
display.
It's going to be the same thing with this one. You're going to use one for charging potentially, and if you're charging, you're going to need the other one for hopefully just one thing, or you're going to need adapters, which you're going to need adapters initially, anyways, for the most part.
And then at that point, it's kind of like get a Pro or more.
Yeah, because the Pro comes with 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports.
Yeah, which we'll get to that.
Yeah,
but no, overall, I thought it was really cool. Definitely, like I said, awakening on learning this new structure of Apple and their MacBooks.
Yeah, we're going to have Caleb explain a little more when he gets back.
Yes, definitely.
Because we don't really know. I don't really know if Apple knows what they're doing with these 2 laptops at the moment either.
But
it is cool.
Yeah, it is cool. And I guess this is pretty good for us to be kind of outsiders a little bit to see. Yeah. Like, there was nothing, as someone on different platforms, it looks really good and it's enticing, especially that fingerprint sensor. Like, here I am, fingerprint sensor, but still, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, having Touch ID on a laptop is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then you can use that not only for LastPass, you're paying payments and all that stuff. So it's very convenient.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, let's go ahead and let's listen. Unless you have any other comments, we can listen to the next part of Caleb's recording.
All right.
Next up, Tim dropped another bombshell on us by announcing an update to the Mac Mini. And best of all, it's not a super depressing upgrade either. The all-recycled aluminum chassis is now a lovely space gray set to match the iMac Pro, and the base model features an 8th gen Intel quad-core i5, which can be configured up to a full desktop 6-core i7 that turbos almost all the way to 5 GHz. The onboard SSD can be configured up to 2 TB, and you can order one with 64 gigs of RAM, though you'd be crazy to do that, considering the thing does use standard SODIMM slots for the RAM, meaning that upgrades are as easy as unscrewing the bottom and slapping in some new sticks. For that matter, going super large with the internal storage also seems a little wasteful, considering how cheap external storage is these days, and how fast the 4 Thunderbolt 3 and 2 USB Type-A Gen 3 ports on the back of this thing are. Or maybe you're more interested in networked storage, in which case you might want to spring for the upgrade from your standard gigabit Ethernet port that fits the thing with a full 10 gigabit port instead. It also still features a convenient HDMI port, headphone jack, and includes the T2 chip for all that security goodness. And, for the slightly uncomfortable price of $800, it could be yours.
All right. Thank you, Caleb. So,
first off, I just want to say, yay! This is what we all wanted.
Yes.
A Mac Mini. That's actually quite awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. I actually was sitting there I could use this for many things. Because I've wanted... So my thought for this was I could use it as something for my streaming stuff that I have. I've got a lot of movies. I got a lot of things that as a central streaming hub for me for the stuff I have on my network at home. And I was like, this would be just easy to use, whether in the living room or wherever I want to put it, which is awesome.
That's what a lot of people did use the Mac Minis for, was for home server type things. And I mean, something Apple showcased quite a bit, I thought, in their event was building a server out of these. They had some people with 5 of them stacked up. They had one place that had a whole freaking room of a couple thousand Mac Minis stacked together.
I saw that.
Holy crap.
What did he? Oh, that's right. He was like, yeah, if you want just this here, or you can have 500 of these. And he showed a picture of them. I'm like, why? But yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of people did that and they work great for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm really excited. I kind of really want one of these.
Well, what would you use it for? Same?
For just my standard computer. I wouldn't necessarily use it as a home server or anything like that. I would just use it as my desktop. Because with the processing power I can get with this, the storage I can get on it, and the fact that it has 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, 2 USB-A ports, an HDMI out, and an Ethernet port, that right there, I want this.
Yes. Did he talk about did it have what was the onboard? Is it just the onboard graphics to the processor, or did it have it separate on GPU? I don't remember him saying that. Don't remember in the press either. But I don't think so.
I don't know.
But still, this would be definitely a decent thing to have. So he said starting at $800. I'm assuming that's without the upgrades, whether you wanted to go from the 1 gigabit Ethernet to the 10. I'm sure that's an upgrade. But also what he was talking about is the RAM is easy as you could take unscrew and put actual RAM in it.
Yeah, you can upgrade the RAM, which is awfully nice. So I'll just go through all the specs on the base model. The $800 one starts with a 3.6 gigahertz 8th gen Intel Core i3, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gig SSD, and just the regular gigabit Ethernet port.
Right.
That's $800.
And by all means, gigabit is still not a bad decision.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Basically, if you need 10 gigabits, that's streaming 4K.
Heck, you can stream 4K with a gigabit.
Right. What would be the mass? That's just file transfer, like huge.
Yeah,
projects.
Gigabit speeds are like if you have fiber optic internet, and a lot of places don't have that right now.
Right, but I was thinking like more at home, like what workplace. Obviously, they would because they'd have big storage things they got to transfer or whatever.
Yeah, so that's where that's going to come in the most handy is for that like a server type unit.
So just wanted to put that out there to make sure that people are, well, should I get the upgrade? I don't know, but a gigabit will be fine for you. For most home network things like that, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and the upgrade is $100 to put the 10 gigabit Ethernet port in there.
Right.
So it's not ridiculously expensive, but if you don't need it, don't get it.
Well, and then also to think about most home networks, if you're thinking of one putting in your home, most routers unless you got a flagship router probably doesn't even support the 10 gigabits.
Yeah.
So just things to think about on that.
Yeah, and so I wanted to read the specs. I maxed one out just for fun.
Ooh.
So if you were to get a Mac Mini with the 3.2 gigahertz 6-core 8th gen i7, 64 gigs of RAM, a 2 terabyte SSD, 10 gigabit Ethernet port, will cost you $4,200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, take the RAM down to the minimum, just because.
That will drop at $1,400.
Just the RAM.
Going from 8 gigs or going from 64 to 8 gigs of RAM will drop you $1,400. Also, if you go from the 2 terabyte SSD down to the 256 SSD, will drop you $1,400. That's where you're really big. Heck, go from 2 terabyte to 1 terabyte is going to drop you $800. Same with going from 64 to 32 is going to drop you $800. So if you still want 1 terabyte and 32 gigs of RAM, that's $2,600.
Yeah, but and to also bring in what Caleb had said was the prices on external storages and things like. You could get something pretty cheap. You can
external storage and just buying your own RAM is going to be cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Yeah, I could kind of see upgrading the RAM from 8 to 16. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Just with that, that's a $200 jump, but
okay, that's better than 8 to 16. So $200. I don't know. I'd probably still look. I'd look on like another site, just a price.
Yeah.
Yes. On a podcast before when Caleb said that he was looking for RAM, I know RAM is skyrocketed in price, so that's probably contributing to it. But still, you could probably get something cheaper.
Yeah.
Although the processor, I'd probably leave the processor at the high if you want the high-end processor.
Right.
And then, so you can, for this one, what's nice about this is what we're trying to get across is you can buy cheap, but then you can actually buy other components later to help increase whether it's storage or RAM.
Yeah, and especially like with storage, a lot of people when they buy this is a desktop computer, this isn't a laptop. Right. So buying external storage for a laptop isn't obviously you can and doesn't hurt, but it's not as ideal because you're on the go with a laptop in most cases. You're not where you can just pull out a hard drive and plug it in easily, like all the time.
Right.
But with a desktop, it kind of makes sense. And with 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports with that data transfer speeds that those are going to have. Yeah. Buy an external hard drive and throw it onto this and just have it plugged in all the time if you want. Because why not? Because you have 3 other ports you can use and 2 other USB-A ports. So, I mean, it's kind of a, type thing.
True.
But, so this is the one I'm most interested in now. Like, I've always been kind of looking at getting a MacBook Pro, potentially, because of what I need a computer for with running Adobe software, Photoshop, Illustrator, Audition, bunch of different things, I need a higher end processor and different things. And with, doing the podcast, I have really large files.
Just a few.
Just a lot of them. So I kind of need the hard drive space as well. But I priced it out. So I've been looking at the MacBook Pro, and the one I've been looking at would cost me around $2,700.
Gotcha.
So I just went on after this event, priced out a Mac Mini, same specs, actually a higher clock speed on the processor, which I thought was interesting.
Yep.
But same thing, basically the exact same computer with more ports, more usable ports, and an Ethernet port especially. That's the big thing for me as well. Would cost me around $1,600 to $1,700.
Yes.
So almost $1,000 less, depending on what I get. I mean, obviously the downside is not as portable.
Right.
I have to get a monitor and a keyboard and mouse, which I have a keyboard and mouse, so I have to get a monitor. Not a big deal.
Nope.
But, I mean, right now, it's more feasible and makes more sense for me to get the MacBook Pro because of the portability and the use case in which I will probably be using it. But, I mean, financially wise, I want that Mac Mini.
Yeah.
And it's got an Ethernet port. I mean, I really want that.
Yeah. And no, I get you. I understand the situation there. Plus, I think you can hook it up to your TV.
Yeah. I mean, it's got an HDMI out.
Yeah, so.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use my TV as a monitor. I mean, I could.
You could.
But I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Because of what I'm going to be using it for, that doesn't make any sense.
Silly.
I mean, again, a lot of people can and probably will because of it's a Mac Mini and you can use it as a server and a media style server and just hook it straight up to your TV and do it that way if you want. But it's not what I'm going to use it for.
No. Yeah, you'd probably want to get a monitor. Anyway, so yeah, this is exciting. So same as Landon, like out of the whole event, this actually was the most intriguing. If I were to want an Apple product, this is actually probably where I would start. Yeah,
I mean, the price is definitely, it's more expensive than it used to be. The Mac Mini I can't remember what it initially started out as when it first came out years and years ago. I want to say it was around $500. Then they upped it a little bit to like $600 or $700.
Yeah.
Starting price, which still wasn't bad. I mean, as an entry-level Mac, that was not a bad price for what you got. And even now, it's $899, I think. $800, $799 or $899. That's... I wish it were cheaper, but I kind of get it. I mean, the specs are still really good on that base level.
Yes.
With a Core i3. So that's...
I think it was i5.
Or an i5. Even better. So, I mean, what you're getting for the price is not bad.
No.
Because, again, you have all those ports. You have a Core i5 processor. You have all SSD drives, and a freaking gigabit Ethernet port.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
It's a great device. I really want one.
Yeah, if you're in that ecosystem too, this is definitely a shoe-in device for you. So
yeah,
agreed.
All right, moving on. All right, Caleb.
Last but certainly not least, the one certainty we had going into this event was the introduction of updated iPad Pros. These redesigned units feature a slim bezel with rounded display corners like the iPhones. This has allowed the 10.5-inch screen to morph into a spacious 11 inches without increasing the actual footprint of the unit hardly at all, while the massive 12.9-inch model now has 40% less volume than it did last year. They've packed in an A12X, pretty sure it's supposed to be pronounced X in this case, which they made some striking claims about, comparing its computing performance to an i7 and comparing the graphics performance to an Xbox One S. And they seem all in on that, showing full-fat versions of AutoCAD and Photoshop running on the device, and even inviting 2K Games out to do a demo of a mobile version of NBA 2K19 that was running on an iPad Pro at 60 FPS with, they said, the same graphical fidelity as a console. With the new power comes new accessories, as both the Apple Pencil and keyboard case have been redesigned, and thankfully we were right about the Pencil. It no longer charges by performing a sacrificial dance at right angles to your iPad's Lightning port, which would have actually been pretty difficult to pull off on these iPads considering they don't have Lightning ports. That's right, the iPad Pros have USB-C connectors and ship in the box with an 18-watt fast charge enabled wall adapter. Why that adapter wasn't also shipped with the iPhones, well, we may never know. The event was phenomenal. We haven't had one like it in years. It did leave one massive gaping question behind it, however. The new MacBook Air is superior to the MacBook in just about every conceivable measure besides weight, where the difference is negligible. Despite that, the MacBook is still for sale, and will actually cost you more for fewer features and less power. So, why?
All right. Any thoughts there, Landon? New iPad Pros?
These iPad Pros, if I didn't need specific software, I'd buy one instead of a laptop.
Yeah.
Or a desktop. This would be my new computer.
Well, it wouldn't be bad.
No.
It would not be bad at all.
I mean, that A12X processor, yes, X. It was funny. I like how he mentioned that because so we have a Slack group that we comment about things on, and while we were watching the event, they said A12X, and I was like, are you sure it's not A1210? Because, naming.
And we actually heard Caleb have an aneurysm over Slack, so.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yes, that was quite funny. But yeah, with that processor and with USB-C finally, and the new keyboard and the new pencil the new pencil is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that it wirelessly charges, it just magnetically clicks right onto the side of the iPad and
pairs
immediately, and it they showed this on the screen. It pops up with where the battery is at, and it says it's charging, and it, from what I understand, charges fairly quickly, which is nice.
Yes,
and, you'd hope, but they put it on there, and then I saw videos of them shaking the thing, and it was not coming off, which is awfully convenient.
Yes,
especially if you don't have a case on this thing, you don't want that to be going anywhere. I don't know. I mean, if you're buying this, I don't know why you don't buy a case or something like a keyboard case or something.
Yeah,
even if it's not Apple's, buy something. I mean, Apple's now covers the full back of the iPad.
Yep,
and it's got 2 different levels of angle that you can put on it.
Yep.
I mean, that's the one thing I have against their stuff. The Surfaces and the new Pixel Slate keyboard that comes with that have basically as many angles as you can possibly get on that thing, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't know how many angles you're going to use, but the fact that you can just choose an angle and that's comfortable and it'll work, not just have 2 set spaces to type at or whatever. It is what it is, but
I think the 2 that they were talking about, they said desk angle and then lap angle.
Yeah, lap angle, which, yeah, I get it. It makes sense.
Then obviously if it's flat, you just have it flat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was intriguing. It was really cool to see. It was really cool to see how much power these things have.
Yeah,
definitely. I guess
especially on the processing side. I mean, you look at the gaming stuff they did. They had NBA 2K on there, and the stuff that it was doing it looked really good. The detail on the court, on the players, on the fans in the crowd, it was really good.
Yep. Them talking about the that it was just like an Xbox One S comparable to, which is not a bad system at all.
Yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see exactly how things shake out, if that is accurate or not.
Well, it'll be interesting.
I'm sure once people get these in hand, and can do some graphics testing and stuff, we'll know for sure what these are capable of. I mean, obviously they have 120 hertz refresh rates, up to that in certain scenarios, which is what the previous iPad Pros had as well, and they work great. So I'm interested to see on the gaming side, especially, how these do compare to the Xbox.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to say because Apple hasn't really been in the gaming space. I mean, mobile gaming,
Right.
Yeah, and as Caleb has mentioned before, many games are being ported to the operating system.
Yeah,
and so that would be really cool to see. It'll definitely be interesting what kind of gaming it brings. I mean, obviously, there's probably going to be Fortnite. There's going to be those things like that. But I think right now, what it's going to cater to mostly is the people with Photoshop and doing stuff like that. Now, the gaming will be kind of more of the sideline thing. It's cool that they brought that out, but right now, I don't think they have much of the presence or a lot of people developing for it.
That's the big push right now for Apple, is they're trying to get developers to develop games for this. I mean, obviously, it can handle, at least it should be able to handle a lot of these games.
Yeah.
It's going to take developers saying, okay, here's one more thing we need to develop for.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the hard part, is getting certain developers to do that. Indie developers are probably going to have a harder time with it because they don't have the money or the resources to add an additional platform to develop on.
Yeah.
Especially these bigger games that they're doing. I could see companies like Blizzard or...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The 2K games and stuff like that, obviously, coming to these type of products. The thing I see, obviously they do have controller support, I believe, if you have the right controller. I want to see, if you can throw a USB-C controller onto this, because that would be even better, because less latency than a Bluetooth controller or a Wi-Fi controller or whatever. That would be awesome. I don't know if that works or not. We'll have to get with Caleb on that. But if you could use a USB-C controller for this,
I haven't seen a controller that is USB-C yet, because Xbox ones are previous generation,
and they're just regular USB if they're wired, right?
Yeah,
but you could get an adapter for that.
True, but still,
it also depends on if the iPad will accept a USB-C type controller or something like that.
Right. So it'll be interesting. Now, something I don't know, you might know, the iPad, is that the Mac OS operating system?
No, iPad runs iOS.
iOS, okay.
iPad version of iOS.
So then the gaming definitely would be on there. So you would get things like, for example, which we'll get into, the new game Blizzard just announced.
Yes.
On there, which we'll mention later. Things like that. So that, I guess I could see that. Now, did he mention that the iPad Pro could be LTE on there, or no?
They do have LTE models available.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, they obviously cost more, but they do have them.
Right. I guess I was thinking that for the gaming aspect of things, because, anyway.
I mean, honestly, if you're gaming, online gaming or anything like that, you'd want to be on Wi-Fi, I would think.
Yeah, you'd think, but...
I mean, you could do it over the network, but you're going to be wanting really good speeds for that.
Yes.
And not a data limit. At least not that much of a data limit.
But yeah, so overall, looks really good.
They're awesome. And I love the new design.
It looks good.
The bezels are a lot smaller. The home button is gone because of that, which we expected. Mm-hmm. Face ID is there. And they definitely made a point to show that Face ID works in any orientation.
Yes.
So whether it's portrait, landscape, upside down, whatever, it'll work.
Yep.
And it will work just as good as how Face ID does on the iPhone, which was really cool. The new design is more square, kind of like how the iPhone 5 and 5S were, which I actually like. It looks good. It looks really good. Because of that, though, there's a definite camera bump on the back, which I noticed, which is another potential reason why you might want a case for this, because if you're setting it down flat on a desk or something, it will actually sit flat if you have a case on it. Whereas if you don't, it's going to have that bump, propping it up a little bit. They did showcase a little bit of AR stuff with this, which makes sense as well, and Adobe also pointed that out. They have a software that can help, that does AR stuff. I don't know a lot about this software, but while Adobe was out there, they showcased that being able to do some stuff inside of AR with this device, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Photoshop on this thing was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Now,
full Photoshop.
Well,
is that what they said?
No, they are saying this is real Photoshop. And the reason they're saying that instead of full Photoshop, because there are going to be some things that are different or not, maybe not fully there, but the majority of things that you want to do on Photoshop are going to be there. The thing is, it runs on the real Photoshop engine, is what how it is. So it's not exactly par for par on from desktop to iOS, but it is pretty much just as good.
Gotcha.
From what I understand. I obviously haven't used it. It's brand new software that was just announced like a week or two ago, and it's showcased to work on the iPad Pros, and obviously these new ones especially. It's something that if I had an iPad Pro, I would definitely use.
Definitely.
But again, the software that I use most is not Photoshop, which is why I can't get away with buying an iPad Pro as my designated computer right now. If that's all I was using it for, then yes, I would buy that over a MacBook Pro or an iMac or something potentially. I mean, obviously there's some benefits to having a desktop or a laptop computer over an iPad, but the benefits to the desktop, obviously bigger screen,
right?
Different operating system, little more software. The laptop wise, I mean, obviously different software, but screen wise, about the same.
Yeah. Especially
that 12.9 inch iPad.
Yeah.
It's a lot more portable because it's going to be lighter and thinner. There's not a ton of, things going for the MacBooks over the iPad, in my opinion.
No.
Especially the regular MacBooks. I mean,
those...
if you're thinking of getting a regular MacBook or a MacBook Air, just buy an iPad Pro, honestly.
Yeah.
Just buy an iPad Pro with a keyboard. You don't necessarily need the pencil, but get a keyboard with it, and you'll be that's a good laptop for the most people, in my opinion.
Yep.
Kind of like a Chromebook.
Yeah.
For the majority of people, they're going to be good enough.
Yes.
More than good enough. So, definitely. I'm excited about these.
It'll be cool to bring it out into the market, see what happens of it. Obviously, they're pushing the gaming aspect of it, but also just trying to change up with Photoshop and everything. So it'll be good. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's what I watched. I felt pretty good about it watching it. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I'm like, I need to pay more attention, but seemed really cool. A lot of people cheering. So.
Yeah, and I want to comment on this. I thought it was interesting. This keynote was an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
It's a little shorter than their iPhone keynote with more stuff, which I thought was odd. And it felt like you could feel this one was quicker.
Yeah.
Like they were rushing through everything. And I put in our Slack group, I was like, they're doing the Google approach here. They're just pushing and talking about things fairly quickly and getting to the next thing, and then they were done. I was like, wow, this easily could have been a 2-hour keynote, and I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
They could have talked about more, but they just got in there, said what they needed to say, and got out. And I'm fine with that.
For a hardware event, they did good.
Yeah, it was a good event. I liked it. It was fun. It was energetic. The crowd definitely helped in that regard.
Yep.
Tim
loves New York.
Yeah. Tim loves New York.
That's what he said. But, yep, overall, I thought it was good.
Yep.
Sounds like Caleb did too.
Yep. We'll have to wait when he gets back and see if he's planning on potentially buying anything. I know he was really interested in the Mac Mini. I know he just bought an iPad Pro not that long ago, so he's probably pissed about that.
I bet he is. Kind of upset. Just like,
I mean, it's probably been, 6 months to a year or so? It's been a while, but not... No, yeah.
But still.
Either way.
Still. Just bought it, and you're like, the new ones are in the corner.
Yeah.
Dang it.
One thing that was not mentioned that I wanted to talk about, obviously, nothing about the Mac Pro. We were all kind of hoping for at least something talking about it. Obviously, nothing's coming out until next year. They've already said that.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did with the previous generation Mac Pro is they announced it. They had it out to look at. They had it in a case, so you couldn't actually touch it or see, or you could just look at it.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily expect that, but I thought maybe some specs or something. But they didn't say anything about that. They didn't mention anything about new AirPods, the Air Power, that wireless charging mat
Right.
they're talking about. No HomePod stuff, which we also thought, because this was a music hall that they did this in, we thought, that would be a good place to showcase a new HomePod or a bigger version or something like that, But no, they didn't do that. So they actually had Lana Del Rey perform a song at the end of it, which I thought, whatever.
Yep.
I mean, she's not a bad artist. She's good, but I didn't care. I was like,
Yeah.
Stop with the music at the end of it, especially where nothing they talked about was music related.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the iPad can be used for portable studio.
Well, they mentioned that, but yeah.
Well, Lana Del Rey mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they mentioned it, but she did, which I thought was interesting.
You can use it for music. Yeah.
But they didn't really there was no focus on that by any means. It was obviously more on the Photoshop, Adobe stuff, and gaming for the iPad. I
did think that was interesting how they did mention gaming quite a few times.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a little different than I was expecting, considering the location of the event.
Yes.
But
good thought music too.
But it was still a really good event. I enjoyed it. I'm obviously potentially buying a Mac Mini. I'm still debating.
Potentially.
But I really want one.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go and where things land on that. I'll keep you updated.
Definitely will.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's all our comments for the Apple event.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Was really good.
Really good. So we're going to move on. Just a couple little hints of news that we have here before we get into some gaming, because there was another convention that happened that we'll be talking about.
Yep.
So I guess this is part of gaming, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I thought it was interesting. So Microsoft has announced a big Mixer upgrade. They're calling it the Mixer Season 2. I think it's just kind of a fun play on words of the next update, I guess they're saying, for Mixer. Anyway, what I want to mention was a couple different things that they're adding, the new features in this Season 2. Skills, now available. So skills provide completely new ways to express yourself while watching a stream. You can send stickers and gifts, launch, let me say this correctly, celebratory, is that how you say it?
Celebratory.
Thank you. Effects like fireworks and confetti and more. So if you actually have a Mixer account, you can hop on there and you can actually do the first one for free. They actually tell you, hey, first one's free. Basically, in the chat, you push the button, and then there's confetti in the chat that goes, poof, yay! Cool. Doesn't affect the stream, it affects the chat.
Oh, well, that's not as fun. I was hoping that it would show up like on...
Well, if the streamer sets it up to do that, it will.
Because this is kind of the jerk in me, but I would go on when you're streaming, try to mess you up.
Well...
Or when you die, I do the, yay!
Yay! See, that's fun, and you can still do that.
That's true.
Now, the next thing is Sparks. So the Sparks are when you would watch somebody or you would stream, you would earn these things. And I guess you can call it experience or whatever, but they're called Sparks. So when you'd earn this, you'd go to someone else's stream and they would set up certain things like, hey, alter my stream by putting a kitten that flies across it, and you push it and then a kitten would fly across it.
Right. I remember.
And you'd spend that.
Yeah, I remember talking about something like this in the past. Is
right.
that on Twitch?
No, this has always been on Mixer.
Okay,
this is always. I'm just explaining what it is.
Right.
So they kind of did an updated thing on the Sparks, which I think is actually really cool. So Sparks will let you now reward your favorite streamers without spending money. So when I sit there and I'm watching something, I've got these Sparks, and I'm like, okay, I really don't care to spend them on silly things. For me, sometimes a game will connect to Mixer, and you can actually augment someone's actual game through the stream if they set it up. So, for example, in Minecraft or, we'll stick with Minecraft. I could be playing and doing something, and if I have my stream hooked up or my game hooked up to Mixer, I can it'll have certain options to where if you have enough Sparks, you could be like, oh, you're in the middle of digging something. Here's like 8 different creepers next to you to spawn. And all of a sudden, I die. Just kind of, altering on that. that's probably the most innovative thing that's happened when they do that. Or like on a game like Vermintide, you can send hordes and hordes of rat people to try and to get people. What this does is I can actually just donate these to the streamer and they get money for the stream. So I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of a cool idea, because there's times that I'm like watching somebody and I'm like, well, you know, because Microsoft has definitely pushed us where if a streamer puts up and hosts something like a Forza game, the new game, and they say, hey, if you're interested in this game and you want to buy it, you can click this here. It shows that Forza is, was it $49.99, something like that. And if you click it and try and buy it from that stream, it'll actually do a kickback to the streamer.
So it's like an affiliate link.
Right.
Basically. It's
pretty cool. But this is an opportunity for you to, like, if you have Sparks, it didn't give how much, like, if I donated, like, 1,000 Sparks, if that's, like, $1 or something, I don't know.
Right.
But that's another opportunity to support streaming.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I thought that was actually really cool. Let's see. The next thing is called Embers. The new virtual currency will now let you buy high-value skills, which skills were like the gifts and things like that. Embers will be a paid currency that goes a further step than Sparks and provides your favorite streamers with direct financial rewards and bigger celebrations. So that's coming soon on there. So then it also says progression coming in 2019. The new progression system will help everyone on Mixer be rewarded for their new entire engagement, and not just when they spend money. You can level up by using chat or skills, by earning applause from other users, or just by signing in each day. So, more reward for streamers and people just coming in. So, more ways to support your favorite streamer. So, and most people nowadays are starting to dual stream, whether it's on Twitch and Mixer. So, different ways to do it that way. So, I thought it was pretty cool to help support, because I know that there's actually, like we were mentioning before, is on like Twitch, you can subscribe to people, and that helps support, say, like a podcast or something like this. If we were to do video, you could do the same thing and help support that way instead of a Patreon or donating or anything like that. So I thought it was really cool. More ways to help, not just game streaming, but I know there's a lot of talk shows that are on Mixer, but also people that actually do artwork or are streaming like, hey, I'm actually painting this and this is how I'm going to show you. So it's kind of cool, like how-tos on there as well.
Yeah.
So
it's a cool opportunity for both the spectator and the streamer.
Yeah. So just making it more fun that way. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I'm not huge in doing streaming. I've streamed before, but it's not, but if we ever decide to take the podcast on video, that'd be fun to have all these little things to affect our stream.
Which, if you're interested in, please let us know.
Definitely.
podcast@callingallplatforms.com. That's our email.
That was a sweet plug. Sweet plug.
Yes.
But, yep. So, that's kind of all the random news I have, really. But I do have some gaming, but we'll move on to that later.
Okay.
Brandon, what do you got?
Google News. I have very little. Something that I thought was really cool that just came out recently. You can now control any Roku device via the Google Assistant.
Yes, I saw that.
So you can do this on your phone. Well, the article I saw was through Google Home. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to try it on my phone. So I did, and it works. So I set it up. So what you need to do is you go into the Google Home app, and you can add device, and I can't remember exactly where it's at, but you set up a new device, and you scroll through a whole bunch of different products, and you hit Roku. And then it'll find the Roku device that is in your vicinity on the Wi-Fi that you're on, and you connect it, and it sets it up, and then you're good to go. So, like, my TV is a Roku power, like it's a smart TV with Roku software built in. And the way it worked for me is, like, there's certain little things I can say. I can say like, okay, so-and-so, turn on my Roku TV. And it did. It just turned. You have to have on your TV, it's got to have the fast start enabled. So, like, you can have it set up to just start like normally, where it does a little, like, if it's a Samsung, it pops up Samsung TV or whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
Mine's a TCL, so it says TCL and whatever. But I have it so it skips all that. So that's what fast start is on a Roku TV. You have to have that set up for it to work. but it worked. And you can also control, like you can play, pause, rewind. It says you can do volume. I wasn't able to get that to work quite yet, so I'm still playing around with it, but it did turn my TV on, and then it turned it off, which was pretty cool. So I'm going to play around with it, see all little things I can do, but kind of cool.
That is cool.
You can now control your TV through your phone or through your Google Home products.
No, that is pretty cool.
Yes. Now, on the not as cool but kind of funny side of things, apparently some people are reporting that their Pixel 3 XL devices are growing a second notch.
The pictures are hilarious.
The pictures are quite hilarious. Most of these are coming up on the side of the device.
Yeah.
And some people, like, we think that the issue may be the phone's not quite adjusting properly to the orientation of the phone. Like, something weird is happening, obviously. But it's leaving quite a large notch in a place where there's not supposed to be a notch.
Yes.
Ever. So it's weird. I don't know exactly why it's happening, but it's relatively easy to fix. Some people are saying they can just restart the device and it fixes the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it happens again to them or not. I haven't seen that, but that gets it to go away. Also, if you go into developer settings, you can tweak that. You can add a notch if you want on your own for some stupid reason. But in there is a way to fix it. Also, Google has come out and said that they are working on a software update to fix this. So
yeah, I bet they are.
It's just, I thought that was really funny that, some people have an extra notch on their phone.
No, it is.
In a place where there's not supposed to be one.
Wait a minute. I didn't want more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I barely wanted this one. Don't really want it.
Yeah. It was pretty funny when I first saw that. I was like, hey, Landon, does this happen to you?
I haven't seen it.
That's good.
So my device so far is fine.
Good.
It's not growing any additional notches. Just the one.
It's infected. It's sick. It's growing additional. Yeah. Anyway, that's fun. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and I just had one quick thing of gaming that's not a part of the big BlizzCon that happened over this weekend. I'll say that. And then we'll have Caleb finish up his BlizzCon announcement and we'll comment on that.
Yes.
All right. So I did want to mention the games with gold for November. It's actually pretty decent games on the Xbox if you're a gold member. Whenever I say gold member, I think of Austin Powers. Is that bad?
Nope, I think the same thing.
Because every time I say that, I want to be like, gold member, But anyway, instead of me singing, the first Xbox One game for games with gold is Battlefield 1. This is actually a fairly recent game. I think this is the most recent one, because the new one's coming out next year, Battlefield 5, I believe it is.
Okay.
But this is the World War One. Not genre. I'm sorry, era. There it is, era game. That's normally $39.99, but this you can actually get it with your subscription of Games with Gold. The next one is called Race the Sun. This is a not $9.99 normally. This one you'll get on November 16th through December 15th, which is another Xbox One game. Then the backwards compatible. The 360 game, you can get the original Assassin's Creed, which is normally $19.99. A lot of people said they really like this one, so not a bad one to get. And then the next one was Dante's Inferno on November 16th. I never did play this, but they said it's kind of a Dark Souls kind of hack and slash game. It's a third-person view, and you just kind of upgrade your scythe or whatever it is, and you just go down and slay demons, and it is a little more mature because you are going to hell, and there's a lot of certain things there. But normally $14.99, and you can get this with backwards compatible. So not a bad games with gold for that, especially for that Battlefield 1. If you haven't hopped into that, I mean,
right,
because people are still playing that one. So I thought that was really good. All right, since Landon has no gaming news,
no, I don't.
We'll go ahead and listen to Caleb. Bring it on, Caleb.
Holy crap, did you realize it's BlizzCon already? Okay, let's level. I haven't been watching. I've been on vacation. But Diablo Immortal, a mobile MMO action RPG set between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3? Yes, please. You can register for a beta on Blizzard's website, which you can bet your scaly red behind that I will be doing at the earliest possible time. I'll admit that the concept of a mobile MMO created by Blizzard sounds genuinely fantastic to me. And hey, remember how just a few years ago Blizzard released an update to Warcraft 3 that brought it into the modern age with support for the latest OSs and integration with the latest iterations of Battle.net? And remember how they also did that with StarCraft and then released a remaster of StarCraft? Well, get ready for Warcraft 3 Reforged, a ground-up remake of the real-time strategy classic that promises to bring it right into the modern age. They even reforged the original cinematic trailer, which, boy, was that ever a great decision. And last but certainly not least, I wanted to mention that Overwatch Hero number 29 has officially been announced. Ash, leader of the Deadlock Gang and former associate of McCree, will be joining the roster as a damage dealer in the near future. Her primary weapon is a bit of a mix between McCree's main fire and Widowmaker's scoped fire, and her secondary abilities complement the mix by breaking the remote trigger damage and knockback of Junkrat's mines into two separate abilities. Perhaps best of all is that her ultimate actually summons an honest-to-goodness living non-playable character to the field to lay down some intelligent cover fire for her. And while all of that is certainly exciting, perhaps the most amazing thing to come out of the reveal is whoever the heck it was that McCree pulled out of that crate at the end. Because she looks like a support, and the world can always use more support characters.
All right. BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So excited. You have no idea. You didn't watch it.
No,
You
I
didn't
didn't.
watch it.
I did not watch it.
I did.
Although I am somewhat interested in this new Diablo game. It's
Yes.
a mobile game. How much does it cost? I haven't looked.
They
that
haven't
up.
released it
They
yet.
haven't released this price. Okay, I am kind of interested in that because back in the day when I used to play games more often, I did play the original Diablo on computer.
Who didn't?
It's good,
Other
right?
than our parents.
Probably some of them. My parents, no.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, I did play Diablo and I really liked it, and like those games back then they were a lot of fun. I played a lot of them.
Yes.
So I am somewhat curious. I may, depending on the price of this game, get into the beta and try it. Just, see how I like it and see how fun it is. I'm sure it'll be fun, but I'm curious to see how they port this over to a mobile device, because obviously it's been made for PC
Right.
and keyboard use and stuff like that. Which, I mean, I could potentially do on my phone. I can connect a Bluetooth keyboard to my phone. I don't think that would be the way to go, because I'm willing to bet this is made obviously for mobile, so it's going to have mobile controls. But I'm really curious to see how it all works and how it compares.
Well, it was pretty cool. So I had the BlizzCon virtual ticket, so I was able to kind of see the in-depth of it for what they have so far. It was pretty cool. Obviously, I didn't mess with it, but the controls, I do have some brothers that did go to BlizzCon, and they kind of talked to me about it because they had actual things set up with mobile phones to play the game.
Nice.
And they said, surprisingly, it works really well. So you'll have the one side of your phone, your left side, is what they showed. You move it around, and it's kind of like actually anywhere on your phone.
Okay.
And you'd push down and then move right. Your character moves right. Or if you go left, it kind of anywhere you put your finger and then move from there, it'll go in that direction.
So similar to Minecraft.
Yes.
Okay.
And then if you want to cast a spell, and say your spell is a directional spell, meaning like you got a bunch of mobs over here, and if you just hit spell, it's not, you need to send a fireball that way. Then when you hit the spell, that opens another aiming. So when you have it on your right hand side and you push the fireball, it opens up kind of a small little aiming thing, so around like this, so it'll actually show on your character an arrow where it's aiming to.
Okay.
So you can and then release, it'll throw the fireball.
Yeah, gotcha.
So looks pretty cool. I'm interested. I'm definitely interested in this. I want to definitely see where this goes, because I mean, I haven't played any other massive multiplayer game on a mobile device. I think there's been some, but they were more. Well, obviously there's Fortnite,
right,
and PUBG. Like there's those, but something like this is a different, like, hack and slash, but with your friends. So I'll be interested to see. Now, Blizzard is partnering with oh shoot, I forget their name. It's another company to develop this.
Okay.
So it's not actual Blizzard. It's just they're giving other people the tools to make it.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see, hopefully. And the thing that I'm excited about is I like Diablo's story, and this is going to fill in the gaps between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3.
Right.
So it'll be fun. That was the big thing that was announced. I know that it's very mixed mixed reactions.
Yeah, because I know everyone was kind of hoping for Diablo 4.
Yeah, the next iteration of Diablo for their main, whether it's console or PC.
Right.
And they didn't get that. Now, obviously, Blizzard employees for 24 hours before BlizzCon are trained to learn how to talk before BlizzCon. So lots of things is they didn't say no, there isn't something coming down the line, but they can't say yes, something's coming down the line.
Right.
So, but Blizzard's always been that way. So, personally, if you think about this, I think this is a money grab for Diablo because, meaning,
well, everyone's going to buy it.
Well,
a lot of people are going to buy this game.
I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be free to play.
Really?
And they're going to go down the loot box route.
I guess I could see that.
Now, whether it's going to be pay to win or pay to look sexy.
If it's pay to win, I think everyone's going to be giving them so much crap.
Yeah.
I doubt that's going to be the case.
I think it's going to be pay to look sexy, just like how Overwatch is. They got loot boxes, but it doesn't help stats or anything. So,
I could see there being an introductory price of even if it's only $5. I could see that being the case just to get in because you don't have to buy anything, and it's good. I doubt they're going to have ads. At least I would hope not.
I don't think so.
So if they make it a $5 buy-in for the game, people like me that if I buy it, I'm not going to be buying extra crap just to look good. I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm interested in. I mean, obviously other people are, and they will buy stuff, but for me, I'm not going to do that. So for the people like me that are just want to try and play the game, a $5 buy-in is not bad. Even a $10 buy-in is doable for a lot of people on a mobile device. So I could see in that range them doing that rather than just making it free to play. But I could see them doing the free to play route because, I mean, obviously having in-app purchases like loot boxes and stuff like that has worked for a lot of these other free to play games. But
well, and now we also got to consider this. The reason why I think it's free to play is because they have two other huge games that are technically free to play.
Right.
One being Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
The reason why I think they'll do free to play, I think they're going to take the Heroes of the Storm route, other than the Hearthstone route, which was the second one I was going to mention. But the Heroes of the Storm route is you can do free to play and play with anybody, anywhere, and just go forward. But the little things that you can do that you can buy, obviously you can buy. They have in-game currency called gems. You buy the gems, and gems pretty much buys anything else. Now, you can buy characters, you can buy skins, and then you can also buy what is it called? Anyway, there's an item that you can buy that's whether it's a 7-day, a 30-day, or a year's worth of this. It's a stim pack. That's what it's called. It's called a stim pack. Basically, you get double experience and double gold for everything.
Okay.
And that's just, I think it's like $60 a year, and then it gives you double experience, double gold. I think they'll go that way. Because, you'll get all the people that... Because this, it's not a PvP, which is player versus player. This is a PvE. So now, if I were to go against you, say like in Fortnite, and I were to be able to pay to win, I mean, you're not going to have any fun. Right. But if I'm able to come in and bring you with me, even though I've paid to win, I can bring you up to some big old boss that you can at least still have a fun experience with. That's more better to the player in that side of aspects. So That's why I'm thinking they'll probably do free to play to get everybody on board, and then just have these options of, hey, you can have a stim pack if you want double the gold and double the experience. So that means leveling up faster, more of this, more,
Right.
So I think they'll go that route because they've had success with that route, obviously with Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But at the same time, I think they could easily put even a $5 buy-in because it's Diablo.
I
It's
just
more
don't know
well
what they
known.
get out of it. Well, well, that is possible because Hearthstone does have a starter pack bundle that's like $5 and you get one legendary card and then like 20 other cards. So they may do something like that to where it's like, oh, you get a stim pack for 7 days and this much starting gold and whatever.
Right.
So,
like a discounted price for
Yeah.
a bundle for when you initially buy the game.
Yeah. That's possible. I've seen them do that. So,
yeah.
But I think they may go that route. I mean, that makes sense. That sounds more Blizzardy to me. Because, like, even with the other the games, there's no pay to win, but it's
right.
But you do still have those options. So I think they'll probably go that route. But it'll be cool because I would like to see the story. That's probably why I'll get it. I don't know, depending on how much it'll cost. We'll see. But I know a lot of people were actually hoping for, like I said, the next installment. But we'll see what happens because a lot of times they actually do a lot of Diablo stuff at other conventions. I know it sounds weird, but they announce more things elsewhere. So
right
on there.
One thing I think would potentially be beneficial with this game is, we talked about this with the Pixel 3 event. Google sells a USB-C controller.
Yeah.
For Pixel 3 and 2 phones that just plugs right in and it puts your, basically a left and right controller on either side of the device.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I can't remember how much it is, but I bet something like that would probably work with this game, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And that would probably make it a little bit easier so you can see the full screen of what's going on.
And I know there may be a bundle or something with the new Razer phone that's coming out that probably try and take advantage of this one.
If you're into the Razer phone.
Yeah. So the next thing we'll go ahead and go down is they talked about the Warcraft 3 Reforged. Did you ever play Warcraft 3?
I didn't play Warcraft anything.
No, okay. You did play StarCraft?
I did play StarCraft, yes.
So Warcraft, when Blizzard first started, they had RTS, which is real-time strategy, is what that means. So what that is you build a base, you build your units, and you go take over the other person's base. Welcome to Warcraft. But they were skinned with orcs and humans. Well, this one's their latest in the Warcraft series, which was back, 2000s? Maybe early or late 90s? Anyway, when Warcraft 3 came out.
Okay.
Huge game. I mean, this was like number one forever, and there's still people playing this game. Well, they decided to come out and actually, they call it Reforge, is they just updated the graphics, updated the internet, the BattleNet to it, because I do remember this before is when you would try and connect to a friend, like you had to do some serious port forwarding. This is kind of early days of internet access and routers. And so you actually had to go, even now, if you download it now, you'd actually have to set your router up to accept your friends or to accept people in. And so it didn't have its own networking port forwarding. You had to do it yourself.
So basically just a background update on a lot of things.
Yeah. So
that's good.
I think it's actually, they took the old, redid it kind of how they did the StarCraft remastered and just remastered everything. But this one was a lot easier to bring to 4K, HD, all that stuff. It actually looks really good. And like Caleb said, that opening cinematic they redid actually was pretty dope. It was
That's
cool. So if you ever have a chance and compare them, like, it was really cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is probably one of the most exciting things that came out of it that I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to definitely try that. So, and I think it's $29.99.
Not too bad.
Yeah, and you get actually the full Warcraft 3. So there was Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos, and then there was the Frozen Throne after the expansion. This is all of it. Just, there you go, reforged.
That makes sense. That's very Blizzard to do.
Yep. So, and if you do the Spoils of War edition, which is I think an extra $10, you get additional goodies from this game to the other Blizzard games.
Gotcha.
So, moving on, the next thing, the new Overwatch hero, Ashe, looks pretty cool. She seems like a really fun damage dealer on there. It was a fun video that they it's called Reunion, And a lot of Overwatch videos are actually pretty cool, and this one was actually pretty fun. They definitely gave it the cowboy westerny feel. Did the moving what is it? Brush, this not stagecoach, the sagebrush moving across, and kind of the deserty feel and the sounds. It was pretty good. So she looks a lot of fun. She'll be coming down the pipeline here soon, so we don't know when. It could be next week, next Tuesday, who knows. The next thing that they did put out was a lot of times for World of Warcraft, they have like Blizzard is big on donating money to help support whether it's breast cancer research or anything. The next thing that they're trying to support is code.org. And if you actually buy this pet, all the proceeds go to code.org. Usually a pet in World of Warcraft is like $10. Then you have this little pet following you. The pet is a miniature, really small Yeti. Kind of a cute little Yeti that follows you around.
Interesting.
Yep. That's one of those things in WoW that World of Warcraft, I don't know if you knew that it was.
I know.
Oh, didn't know how far back.
Lingo. Come on, Wes.
I'm helping you out here.
I may not play, but I know plenty of people that do.
Yeah. Now, something I think I missed that actually is pretty cool. I'm not interested in, but I did go ahead and get it since it was free. But on the Blizzard launcher, they are now giving away Destiny 2 on the PC free on Battle.net through November 18th. So you get a free copy of Destiny 2.
Nice.
On there. So
free stuff is always good.
Yeah, it's free. I mean, I might dabble in it. I never did play Destiny 1, and I don't know. I might look at it. Hopefully see if my PC will actually run the freaking thing. But anyway, yeah, Destiny 2 free on the PC through the Battle.net launcher is what it says. So you basically that's all the launcher for all the games, and it brings it up and says, "Hey, free gift." And I actually did get this, but I haven't installed it yet. So yeah. BlizzCon.
Cool.
Yep. That's the big stuff that came out of that. A lot of just updates pushing forward. I know World of Warcraft actually just had their expansion a little bit ago, but now they have the patch for the expansion that leads to pushing forward the story. I forgot what the name was, but it's there. I should have had it written down. Horrible podcasting, but it is there. So all you World of Warcraft players, looking forward to that. So
cool.
Yep. StarCraft just had more. StarCraft 2 just has more co-op missions led by Zeratul on there. You have any idea who I'm talking about?
Vaguely. I've never played StarCraft 2.
You should know Zeratul. Zeratul was on first one. But that was a long time ago. You're like, What the heck? I had a roommate one time when brothers and I were talking about it, and we just talked about Zeratul, and he's like, "What the heck is a Zeratul?" Hilarious. Anyway, so everyone had fun. It was a good convention. A lot of good stuff coming down the pipeline for Blizzard games, and obviously Activision for the Destiny that's coming out of there. A lot of wrap-ups on all the world championships for all their games. If you ever have a chance to check those out and feel inferior to these people, holy cow, just stuff that they do that I'm like, you can do that with that? Like, and if you ever want to just hurt your brain, watch some StarCraft play, man.
Yeah.
They still have original StarCraft like championships. Like,
well, yeah, they should.
Dude.
It's an awesome game.
No, it is. Like, it's amazing how much fan base and just how big these arenas are. Like, they actually toted a lot of stuff and showed how big these arenas are for each one. Crazy awesome. Anyway, so if you're looking forward to Blizzard games, got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. If you're mobile phone, obviously, definitely can't wait for that. They said it's going to be next year sometime. They didn't give a release date, or a price or how it's going to happen. But obviously, it's going to, whether you like it or not, this thing's going to be talked about for quite a while.
Yes, because
it is probably one of the first or in the first realms of being a mobile-only massive online game. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if there are others. There may be others that have tried this. I don't know. I just not big into the mobile gaming scene.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but here it comes down the pipeline. Anyway, that's our episode for today, and we appreciate everybody listening to us. And if you have any comments, please get on to podcast.callingallplatforms.com, and you can leave a message, send an email, Well, and if you want any kind of fun little gameplay, you can always check out our YouTube video. We are pushing to try and get some more streaming going now that Caleb and I have a little bit more time and better stability in our schedules. We'll try and get some more streaming going and more content that way. So, all right, everybody, thank you and have a good night.
See ya.